You're brushing your teeth, and suddenly, you're having a full conversation. In your head, you say something you should have said. You get the response you wish you got. You argue with someone who isn't even there. It's not daydreaming. It's not random. It's your brain rehearsing a conversation that never happened. So why do we do this? Why does your mind create fake conversations? And why does it feel so real? That's what we're going to unpack. Chapter 1. This is normal, and it's a real brain process. Most people imagine conversations without realizing it. It happens while walking, showering, or even brushing teeth. Psychologists call it imagined interaction. It's a type of mental simulation where your brain creates a conversation with someone, often someone real, like a friend, a boss, or an ex. This is not random thinking. It's structured, emotional, and sometimes very detailed. Brain studies show that when we imagine conversations, our brain activates the same regions used in real speech and social interaction, areas related to language, emotion, and social reasoning. That means your brain treats imagined conversations as real social tasks. The only difference is the person isn't physically present. Another key point is that this ties into inner speech, the way humans think in language. Some people experience inner speech as a clear voice, while others experience it as a feeling or a set of words. Imagined conversations are just inner speech that includes another person's perspective. We also often use imagined conversations to fill gaps in memory. When you can't remember exactly what someone said, your brain reconstructs it. Sometimes it reconstructs it in a way that makes sense emotionally, not literally. So the first key idea is this. Your brain doesn't separate real from imagined in the way you think. It treats imagined conversations as practice. Chapter 2. Why evolution built this system. To understand why we do this, we have to look at how humans evolved. For most of human history, survival depended on belonging to a group. If you were kicked out, you didn't just lose friends, you lost protection, food, and safety. Social rejection could mean death. So the human brain evolved to be hypersocial. And social life is messy. People lie. People judge. People compete. People manipulate. The brain had to become good at predicting others. Imagined conversations are basically mental simulations for social survival. They help you test what might happen before you speak. Think of it like a rehearsal. If you can imagine saying something and anticipate the response, you can adjust your words before you actually say them. This improves your chances of keeping allies, avoiding conflict, maintaining status, gaining cooperation, preventing embarrassment. A big part of this is theory of mind, the ability to imagine what another person is thinking. That skill is central to human social life. It lets us predict intentions, detect deception, and coordinate actions. There's also a limit to how many social relationships we can manage, known as the Dunbar number, often estimated around 150. Even in modern life, your brain still treats social life like a small tribe. Imagined conversations help you keep that network stable without constantly interacting in real life. So imagined conversations aren't a flaw. They're a tool for social strategy. The human brain is essentially a prediction engine, and social prediction is one of its most important jobs. Chapter 3. Why it feels so real and emotional. You may wonder, why does a fake conversation cause real emotion? Because your brain doesn't treat imagined scenarios as harmless. Emotion evolved to motivate action. When your brain predicts a threat, it triggers emotional systems to prepare your body. So when you imagine someone criticizing you, your brain activates the same systems as if it's real. Your heart rate increases. Your muscles tense. Your mood changes. Your brain doesn't wait for proof. It prepares. This is why fake conversations can be emotionally intense, exhausting, convincing. They activate real emotional systems. The brain is basically saying, better safe than sorry. Another reason this feels real is because your brain often imagines the other person's voice, tone, and facial expressions. This taps into the same networks used for empathy and mirroring. Your brain is simulating the other person's emotional state as well as your own. This works in the real world. Preparing for threats increases survival, but it can become a problem in modern life, where threats are often social or abstract rather than immediate. Chapter 4. The two main functions and how they turn into rumination. Imagined conversations mainly do two things. 1. Preparation. Before important social moments, interviews, confrontations, dates, apologies, your brain rehearses. This improves your confidence and performance. It's a natural training method. 2. Processing. After emotionally charged conversations, Your brain replays events to extract meaning. What went wrong? What could I do differently? This helps you grow socially. But there's a catch. When the brain stops learning and starts looping, it becomes rumination. Rumination is when the same thought repeats without resolution. Instead of preparing, your brain keeps replaying the same conversation. Modern life makes this worse. We have hundreds of relationships, many unresolved, many online, many ambiguous. So the simulation keeps running. Not because it's useful, but because the brain doesn't know when to stop. Rumination is also tied to certain mental health conditions. In anxiety, the brain keeps predicting threat. In depression, the brain tends to focus on loss and failure. In OCD, intrusive thoughts can become repetitive mental rituals. So the same system that helps you survive socially can become a source of distress. Chapter 5. How to use this system without getting trapped. You can't stop your brain from imagining conversations, and you shouldn't want to. It's a powerful tool, but you can control it. When it helps you prepare, let it run. When it becomes repetitive and painful, redirect. Here are practical strategies. Set a mental time limit. Give yourself 2 minutes to think, then move on. Write it down. Journaling helps your brain process without looping. Change the ending. If you're replaying a negative conversation, consciously imagine a neutral or positive outcome. Use mindfulness. Don't fight the thought. Notice it and let it pass. Ask yourself what you want from the conversation. If the goal is closure, try talking to the person directly. If the goal is learning, write down one lesson and stop. Your brain is doing what it evolved to do, just in a world it wasn't built for. Conclusion. Imagine conversations aren't fake. They read part of what makes us human. They are mental rehearsals for belonging, survival, and social success. So next time you find yourself arguing with someone who isn't there, remember, that's not weakness. That's your brain doing what it was designed to do.